I'm sitting in a glass conference room outside HR with my laptop open on my knees, watching my coworker dab fake tears like she's auditioning for sympathy. The HR manager slides a folder toward me and says, "You've been accused of harassment." My throat tightens so fast it feels like someone grabbed it, because I know exactly how this ends if I panic. At the time, I thought I was about to lose my job. What I didn't realize was that she just handed me the easiest case I'd ever had, because liars can't outrun logs. Here's the curiosity gap: she didn't accuse me of one thing. She accused me of a pattern. A hostile environment. Repeated comments. Unwanted contact. The kind of vague complaint that sounds believable because it's hard to disprove, unless you do the one thing she didn't expect me to do. Pull the record, line by line, fast context. My name is Nadia, I'm 27, and I work in a corporate operations role where everything is tracked: tickets, approvals, timestamps, chat threads, meeting invites. My team runs on Slack, email, and calendar. If you do something, it leaves a trail. If you don't do something, that also leaves a trail. My coworker's name was Jenna. Same level as me. Same team. Different personality. I'm quiet and direct. Jenna is loud and strategic. The kind of person who compliments you in public and tries to corner you in private. The first injustice started small. Jenna didn't like that I was competent. I didn't realize that's what it was at first, because I'm not wired to compete socially at work. I'm wired to finish the job. But Jenna treated work like a stage. If someone praised me in a meeting, she'd laugh and say, "Well, some people have more time than others." If I asked a question, she'd answer for me like I was a child. If I corrected a mistake, she'd call it tone. Then we got assigned to the same project, a process cleanup that leadership actually cared about because it was tied to audit risk. It wasn't glamorous, but it mattered. And Jenna wanted ownership of it because ownership is currency. She started doing this thing where she'd volunteer to coordinate, and then not actually do the work. She'd schedule a meeting, show up late, talk for 10 minutes, then disappear and leave me with the messy part. I kept handling it because someone had to. That's what she counted on. Escalation, step 1. In a status meeting, our director asked who built the new tracking sheet. Jenna said, "I did." She didn't look at me. She didn't even flinch. Just took it like air. My face went hot. My foot started tapping under the table. I didn't call her out in the meeting because I didn't want drama in front of leadership. I sent her a message afterward: "Hey, I built that sheet. Please don't present my work as yours." One sentence. Clean. Professional, she replied with the first gaslight. "Wow. I'm sorry you feel that way. I was just speaking generally. No need to be aggressive." Aggressive. Because I asked for credit. I screenshotted it and dropped it in a folder. Not because I had a plan yet. Because I've learned the hard way that people who twist your words once will twist them again. Escalation, step 2. The next week, she started misunderstanding everything I said. If I wrote, "We should do A to reduce risk," she'd tell the team I refused to do B. If I said, "Let's confirm with legal," she'd tell the director I was blocking progress. Every time I corrected it, she'd smile like I was being difficult. That's the thing about office sabotage. It's clean. It's plausible. It's designed to make you look emotional if you fight it. Escalation, step 3. She went to my manager privately. I didn't know that at the time. I found out later. She claimed I was hostile and intimidating. She used words that don't mean anything in writing but sound heavy out loud. And my manager, who hated conflict, tried to solve it by asking me to be extra nice. Extra nice. Like kindness would stop someone who was already lying. Then came the setup for the big betrayal. On a Thursday afternoon, our manager posted in Slack, "HR needs to meet with Nadia tomorrow at 10. Jenna will be there as well." No context. Just that. My stomach dropped. HR meetings without context mean one of two things: layoffs or accusations. And when I saw Jenna's name attached, I knew it wasn't layoffs. A raw thought, she's about to try to get you fired. Another thought, quieter, you have receipts. You just never thought you'd need them like this. Friday morning, I walked to HR with my hands cold and my jaw locked. Jenna was already there, sitting in the chair closest to the HR manager like she belonged there. She wasn't looking at her phone. She was looking at the door, waiting to watch me walk in. I sat down, opened my laptop without being asked, action, not reaction, and made sure my screen was ready. The HR manager introduced herself, then said the sentence, "We've received a complaint that you've been harassing a coworker." Jenna sniffed loudly. HR said, "We take these matters seriously. We need to ask you some questions." Then she read a summary, that I made repeated comments, that I singled Jenna out, that I sent inappropriate messages, that I created an uncomfortable environment. Jenna looked at the table like she was brave for surviving me. I felt my pulse in my ears. I kept my voice flat on purpose. I said, "Can you show me the specific messages and dates?" HR hesitated. "We don't always have exact," I interrupted politely, "then I can provide them." "What date range is the complaint covering?" HR gave me a month range. This was the breaking point. I realized if I argued about character, I'd lose. If I argued about facts, I'd win. So I chose facts, a secret plan, revealed in pieces. Step 1. I asked HR to pause while I pulled the relevant Slack messages. HR said, "Okay." Jenna's eyes widened a little. Most people don't open a laptop in HR meetings unless they're either guilty or prepared. I was prepared. Step 2. I opened Slack and exported my direct message thread with Jenna for the date range. Not a screenshot. The thread. With timestamps. With context. Then I said one sentence that shifted the room. "I want to show you the first message I sent that she's calling harassment." Jenna's face tightened. I scrolled to the message. "Hey, I built that sheet. Please don't present my work as yours." Then her reply, "Wow. I'm sorry you feel that way, no need to be aggressive." HR read it silently. Jenna stared at the wall. I didn't talk. I let the words sit. Step 3. I pulled the next inappropriate message, she claimed. It was me asking for meeting notes she said she sent. Then her saying, "Stop policing me." Then me replying, "I'm not policing you. I need the notes for the audit file. Not harassment." Work. Step 4. I pulled the one message that mattered most. The one she forgot existed. 2 weeks earlier, Jenna had messaged me privately, "If you keep trying to take credit, I'll escalate this. Just drop it." I had screenshotted it the moment I saw it because my whole body reacted like it had been slapped. Threats in corporate language are still threats. I put it on the screen and said, "This is why I saved everything." Jenna's breathing changed. Quick, shallow. HR leaned forward. HR asked, "Jenna, did you send this?" Jenna said, "That's out of context." Out of context is what people say when context makes them look evil. Now the payoff moment. HR said, "We're going to review the full record." I said, "You don't have to. I already have the timeline." Then I did the thing Jenna didn't expect. I opened my calendar invites and showed every meeting where I was assigned work she claimed I refused. I opened the task board showing my completed items. I opened the meeting recording link for a team call where she said, "On the record, I didn't have time to do my part, Nadia will cover it." It wasn't a secret recording. It was a normal company recorded call. And it destroyed her narrative. HR's tone changed mid-meeting. Less accusatory. More investigative. HR asked Jenna, "Why did you file a complaint instead of addressing this through your manager?" Jenna said, "Because I felt unsafe." Unsafe. Another heavy word used as a shield. HR asked, "Unsafe because she asked you not to take credit?" Jenna didn't answer. She looked at the table. Her face went pale in a slow wave, like the blood was leaving because she knew the room no longer belonged to her. HR turned to me and said, "Thank you for bringing documentation." Then she looked at Jenna and said, "We will be addressing this separately." Jenna tried to cry again. It sounded different now. Less convincing. More desperate. Karma twist. After the meeting, my manager called me and said, "I'm sorry. Not, sorry you felt. Sorry. He said Jenna had filed 2 complaints before, against 2 different coworkers, and both were unsubstantiated. He said HR hadn't told the team because they didn't want retaliation. In other words, Jenna wasn't new to this. She had a pattern. And the company had been quietly tolerating it until someone made it impossible to ignore. 2 weeks later, Jenna was gone. Not a dramatic firing announcement. Just a short email, Jenna has left the organization. Please direct questions to clean corporate words for messy human behavior. And a month after that, the director publicly credited me for the project in a meeting and said, "We're tightening our process for internal complaints to prevent misuse." Misuse. They didn't say her name, but they finally named the behavior. Here's the lesson that keeps people employed: if someone tries to destroy you with a vague story, don't fight their story with your feelings. Fight it with their timestamps. Save messages. Save invites. Save deliverables. And when the meeting happens, don't perform innocence. Pull the record. Because the truth doesn't need you to sound angry. It just needs you to show it. Justice Vault Stories. More stories. More receipts. More updates.